What are you doing to keep touch with clients, and what do you think younger, newer agents should be doing?
You need to treat clients like their family. When the deal's done, that's not it. If the deal is done and you're done with them, then it's a recipe for disaster. You're not building anything. How do you stay in touch with your family? Right? It's one thing, one way to look at it. Another way is you need a system in place to stay in touch with people and to touch them, right? It needs to be consistent. It needs to be there every single time. Like going to McDonald's has the same French fries for a million years. Whatever form of communication or system that you use to stay in touch with people forever needs to be the same way. I've done the same thing for over 10 years to stay in touch with my clients, and it's the same exact thing every single time. They know it, they know I'm consistent, they know I'm dependable, hardworking, professional, I know what I'm doing, and they know I'm not going anywhere.
One thing that I get from clients, they kind of have an objection with, how long have you been in business? It seems that matters to them rather than showing them the proof of what you have done in such little time that's been nothing but good results. How do you overcome that objection to clients and sell them on? It matters to what you know and what you do rather than how long you do it.
Nobody cares what you sold, what your company has sold. Nobody cares about that. When I became number one and all this stuff, I started posting it. What I found out was nobody cares at all. They want to know you. They want to get to know you, and they want to know that you care about them. That's it. When you go to a listing presentation or somewhere to win a client, take the comps of the market that show them what their property's worth. They care about that a lot more than the comps of how many properties you've sold or what you've done or what your company's done. I made it big with a small company that was the only realtor. I did very well. It doesn't matter. It matters that you grasp the idea that all that matters is this relationship, not stats, history, market, right?
Well, you'll deliver to them, right?
People are automatically drawn to hard workers, period.
Hey, I'm Josh Williams, about to moving in storage. You might see my table out there. So basically, as a realtor or a real estate agency, what would, or I should say, why or why not would keep you from recommending certain vendors to your clients?
I answered that. Mike asked it, and it is that I know 100% that you're going to take care of my client just as if it were me taking care of them, because I'm going to go to the ends of the earth for them. And if I know for a fact, if you've proven to me that you're going to do the same, then I'll use you, I'll recommend you, otherwise I won't. You have to prove. You can't walk up to somebody, meet them for the first time, and expect them to start referring business to you. You have to create a lifelong relationship with them and not try to sell them up front too much, but let's prove ourselves over time, and now we're going to ask for business.
I'm Kim Kelly with RE/MAX of Orange Beach. I had a quick question for all of you. We've all been in the business for a while. You folks are professionals that have seen us through a lot of ups and downs. You've seen, and I'm going to use some words that I don't want to scare anybody that we don't talk about, but recessions, bubbles, those kind of things have happened. What do you see as the warning signs that those things may happen, and how do you feel about our market at this point, and do you see any concerns for the future?
It's going to crash. It's going to happen. When? Who knows? 5, 10 years, 2 years, 20 years, it doesn't matter. The bubble crash or recession is opportunity. We need to get out of the mindset that we're scared of recessions and downturns and realize that that's a good thing for real estate agents. I don't know about mortgage inspectors. I don't know the other side of it. But as far as realtors are concerned, transactions are happening. Transactions go down. Number of real estate agents go down even further. There's more transactions per agent because it scared them all off. More transactions per agent. The buyer's got to buy before it goes back up. They want to buy now. The seller's got to sell now. They're in trouble. It's an amazing opportunity. If you'll pick up the phone and call property owners and say, hey, do you want to buy, sell, or hold? And out of those three, do you already have an agent or not? Next. and do that a million times, you'll make more money through a recession and come back even stronger. You'll have more market share when the market returns than you had before the market crashed. Quit looking at it as a bad thing. Quit trying to time the market out. Know what's going to happen, but don't care when.
Hi, John Ward from Gold Star Realty. This is a question for Mr. Jason and Mr. Ricky. For social media, with especially dealing with videos, for newer agents trying to break into the social media video aspect, what should their focus probably be for what kind of content they publish on their social media?
I think he made a lot of good points. I would just add that I see a lot of videos of people walking through houses and they're showing me the toilet and under the table and all this stuff.
It's terrible. Yeah, we talked about
You know, show the attractive parts of the property, the view, the roof line, the lawn. You know, try to refrain from showing every little last detail and making this 10-minute video that nobody wants to see. Make it a little bit interesting, right? So you know, don't try so hard, right? Just do it, and don't worry about the length. You can do a 1-minute video, a 30-second video. You can do a 5-minute video. Don't worry about the length. Just do it and let it be natural, and try to focus on what is attractive about different properties. And that just goes along with everything he said about, you know, add that to everything he said.
What would you qualify as an investment property when the rental market cannot keep up with the sales market? I mean, like, if you're trying to say, I'm looking for investors, this is a great investment property, is there a particular criteria you're looking at to say this one is really an investment property? Because I know we're having some increase in sales.
Right.
But I don't know that the rentals have caught up on the beach market.
I think condos are, you know, it's not like a commercial piece of property. It's people buy condos because they want to use the condo. It's half personal, half investment, right? It's not all invest. Some are, right? The people that pay cash, they do pretty good. If you get a loan, it'll pay for itself, something like that, right? Depending on what condo and so on and so forth. Maybe not. You may lose a little, you may make a little. You never know. It's situational. I think the biggest thing is finding out exactly what this investor you're talking about is looking for, right? It's a per client situation. You know, if he's looking for a 10% cap rate, he's looking for something commercial, not a beachfront condo. If they want a place to stay with their family when they come down from Hattiesburg and they want it to pay for itself, then they want a condo. It depends on what he's looking for.
Hey, I've got a question for Ricky and Jason. Baldwin County, one of the fastest growing counties in the country. A lot of people are coming to the area, new to the area, but may have been doing business in another part of the country, but they're brand new to Baldwin County. So, for instance, myself, I've been here almost 2 years. How would someone come to this county in my business and get on you guys' radar? What would you suggest to someone brand new to maybe facilitate some business with Jason, you, or you, Ricky? How would I get your attention?
I would say that you in the mortgage business, your biggest clientele is realtors, right? You want to get
Absolutely.
them, they refer you the business. I would literally call every single realtor and say, hey, how are you doing? I'm Mike, da-da-da. Is there a mortgage guy that you work with? If not, I would love the opportunity to work with you. Have you done that?
I have done that.
I can't hear you.
I have done that. I mean, I make multiple calls each week, and a lot of times I get no call back. But
How are you doing?
how am I doing?
Hmm?
I'm doing good.
There you go. Okay, so this is how you get my attention. You continue that momentum, right? And then you become bigger and bigger and bigger, and then you will show up on my radar. Wanting the attention does not get you the attention. People are drawn to the hustle. If you continue the hustle, right, then you will get on everybody's radar that you need to be on. See what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
It's not a thing about, you know, how do I get on your radar? You know, I wasn't on anybody's radar for a long time. To be honest, it's a tough question.
It is a tough question.
What's your thought process of buying a home over building?
What was that?
So new construction versus a resale?
Yeah, what's your thought process over buying a home and building?
Building a home. It's all personal preference. You mean, what would be my thought process of me personally, or you personally, buying a resale or building a home? I just built a home 2 years ago, and the reason was I couldn't find what I wanted that was built. So I built it. I wanted something in Orange Beach that wasn't on stilts, that didn't flood every time a hurricane came through, so I found a lot that didn't flood and built a house on a slab. So I think it just boils down to personal preference.
I guess all real estate agents would say buy.
Doesn't matter, as long as you're happy.
I was going to ask a question if I could. I know Ricky's answer because I follow him a lot on Facebook and other means. But this is to Jason and Ricky and some of the others. A lot of agents like Buy Leads, Zillow. I know you mentioned Realtor.com earlier as a lead generation source. For a new agent or even somebody who's been around a while, what's your thoughts on bang for the buck that you would say do invest in, or on the other side of the coin, do not invest in?
I can tell you've been watching my videos. Hey, here's the thing, man. When you're new, try everything and figure out what works for you. But here's the bottom line. There's different stages in real estate, and the top producers bust through those stages. And the lower producers get stuck in a stage. Say they're a single agent, they're buying leads. That's a recipe for disaster. If you're a team leader, you get buyer leads for your team, that's different. But if you're a single agent, you're buying leads, recipe for disaster, but you got to try it. You got to taste it. You got to figure out that it's not worth your time, that there's more efficient ways to spend your time. So there's not a direct black and white answer to that. You have to try and see what works for you, but you got to keep in mind that you got to bust through those stages. There's stages, and you got to say, what's the next one, what's the next one, what's the next one, and learn.
Yeah, there's no easy way out of this. There really isn't. The thing I see in my office is disastrous is when they go and they spend money on Zillow or Realtor.com and they just don't call, or they call one time. I mean, just become a student of the stats. And I mean, it's an eye-opening thing to see that most leads don't get followed up with. I mean, how many of you have sold a property because the first two realtors never called them back? You know, so leads aren't getting followed up with, and they're not getting followed up with enough. You know, it's relentless. You call until they buy or they die, or they just get really in a nasty way, tell you to go away. It's just a relentless pursuit. So if you're gonna really pound the phones and you're ready to spend some money, circle prospecting is a great bang for your buck.
Good afternoon. I think I met a couple of you while I was out there. So I just have a question in general about realtors, and what is your percentage when you thinking about closing gifts? Is closing gifts still something that you purchase as a standard, or is that kind of faded off a little bit because of the added expense?
I do a charitable cause every deal. Every deal goes to charity. I do a gift card. And really, the way that I treat them through the transaction, they will never use another realtor. That's my closing gift to them, is they know that I'm gonna be there for them from here on out, forever.